Alright, here it is. Here's the final, well, almost final product. So, where to begin? It's got suspension. We got this toilet paper roll holders right here for like the shock / spring. Then we got control arms to keep the axle from going forward or backwards. That's the rear. Then we got the front here. Of course, you got your control arms. Then your shock in here. So, that's your suspension. That's your suspension. So, then we have two red motors. These are high-speed red motors. Driving small gear to big gear, small gear to big gear. So it is geared down quite a bit. Then goes to this gear, that gear. I don't know if you can see it. Drives those two golden gears. Well, one of them. Because if you see, I'm going to move it back and forth. That one spinning is directly linked to the wheels. So then this right here is a shifter. If you've seen my drivetrain video, you've seen this transmission. You've seen this gearbox in action. What you didn't see is it looking so fancy. I added more gears on the back, and I also added this little transfer case. There's sprockets on here. It's hard to see. I'll show you in better light. Sprocket here, two tensioners, and another sprocket right there. And then that is right here, and it turns the drive shaft, which then goes to your differential. Which I did have to make a new differential because the old one was too bulky. Of course, I didn't plan for that one to be the final product. But before I built this new differential, I had the old one, and then I had the two axles coming off and then dropping down with the chains and then turning into the wheels. I ditched that idea because, well, there was a lot of friction and the wheels didn't want to turn, and everything would always break, even though I kept it lubricated. So yeah, here's our final differential design, which I did end up, you obviously can't see it. On the end of each of these gears, these are those friction gears, so they can spin on the shaft, but it's tight. And I put a little super glue on the shaft, so it would act like it's locked on there. Alright, so then we got the axles, and of course it's connects, so the axles have a camber in. There we go. So yeah, it's got a camber in, as you can see, and it's got a tall ride height. So our next feature is the steering. Get to the winch later. Actually, our next feature is the steering. So the steering is actually a bit odd. I'm gonna put this thing on jack stands. Hold on. Okay, so I got her on jack stands, and we got this little steering shaft right here, or steering arm. It's got good rotation, and you can see the design I use. It's not that great because when it's on the ground, it kind of binds up. You'll turn it and it'll just flex all the pieces. So yeah, this was really meant for hard surfaces, so you wouldn't want to take this out in the grass or anything. It wouldn't last very long. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put the rear end on jack stands and turn it on for you. Okay, so I got the rear end on jack stands, as you can see. Now, alright, so we got the engines going. Here's first gear. Really slow, huh? Then we got second gear. Really, it's low and high, but as you can see, that's the whole rotation experience. That's how she drives. Yeah, so we got this thing's geared way down, and it barely wants to move like this in first gear. So yeah, third. Okay, and so here's the suspension. Testing it out a little bit. Testing the rear suspension. And yeah, so the suspension really works. Anyways, then we got the winch, which to turn on outward, and of course you pull your line out, it'll go slow. Then turn it off. You see it actually coils up on this little shaft here, and you bring it back in, and then it'll bring it back in. It'll pull the thing backwards. Doesn't like it though. Turn it off before it gets to the end. It starts breaking stuff. But after this video, I'm going to be taking the transmission and the engine out, and I'm going to be building a new transmission. I'm going to try to get 3 speeds out of it, low gear, direct drive, and high gear. So that'll be pretty interesting. Alright, now we got the drive video. Now this thing does not want to go. There we go. That's first gear. Yep, and it broke. So we got a connector right there, or a pin. Let's see. Oh, and it broke right up there. Right there. So yes, this thing really does not like to move. It's pretty heavy. I mean, it's too much for these little motors. Now, I'm going to give you a little advice. I would not buy those motors unless you're doing something small. Something like this big, I would recommend either getting these green ones, which are the medium speed, or I think it's blue ones that are low speed, because them, even 2 high-speed motors, it barely wants to turn this thing. And if you're going to build something this big, I would definitely recommend getting more than 2. I mean, them things were expensive, but yeah, just get more than 2 high-speed motors, maybe 3, maybe 4, or just get 2 green ones, the medium speed. But yeah, I mean, not much else to say about this thing. It barely takes off in first, which first is, first is right there, forwards, and second is right there. But yeah, that's the car. I mean, got any questions, got any comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment section. Leave a like if you did, and we'll see you in the next one. Also, don't forget to hit that bell notifications so you don't miss out on the next update. Peace. Alright, that little bounce test right there broke. Broke right there. That control arm and this control arm right here. Not too bad. Let's see, is there any other damage? Nope. That's it. I'll give you a better slow motion.